There are many institutions and we have seen many around, but there are very few research institutes and opportunities for researchers. I'm Basim and my thesis topic is Nature and Space Relationship in Ayurveda Research Institute, Idukki. Ayurveda is one of the globally accepted traditional system of medicine, and there are around 31 research institutes in India, but there's just one in Kerala which is situated in Cheruduruthi. So there is a need of a research institute in Kerala. And Ayurveda is almost all related with nature, even the medicine and the treatments. So I would like to explore more about nature in Ayurveda Research Institute and also incorporate public into the campus. So my objective also revolves around bringing nature to the design and also a platform for the researchers to have better research and facilities and also incorporate public to the campus. My site is situated in Udumbajola, Idukki. It is a medical college proposal site. So I would like to use that site as my design. So design which has all the facilities of a medical college with a research block in it. So the site area is around 19 acres and it's a contour site, and the highest point in the site is almost the highest in that place. About the immediate context, there are very few buildings around. Mainly residential buildings are seen, and this is like one of the node in that place. And this site is actually to the inner area of Udumbanjola. So the site is very calm and quiet place without having much of disturbance from the public. And the wind direction is from northeast side, and it flows from a lower elevation to a higher elevation, and this center part of the site is the highest elevation, which is 125 meters, and the lowest is around 82 meters, which is here, and it slopes down to the all four sides from the center. Relief map showing the relief of the site. The center portion is the highest elevation point and slopes down to all four directions. This is slope analysis through which we can analyze that the darker color area is the steep slope, which is 20% and above, and there are design considerations need to be taken while designing in these places. And vegetation, the site is almost thick vegetated site, having thick vegetation to the northern and southwest side of the site. The center portion has very less vegetation. And coming to the circulation, there is a main road which passes and a private road passing through the site, splitting the site into two. And currently there is an existing pedestrian path by the public, and from there we can use it as a main entry to the site as well. Possible entries, there are two from the main road and also from the node which passes through the private road, that also can be used in the campus. Talking about the views, there are very few views, and a view is mainly to the thick vegetation. In surface drainage, there are three valley spaces and which we can use for the design and other considerations while designing. Analysis also done from the site, where the site is to the inner areas of the Udumbanjola and a quiet and calm place, making the site very apt for the project. And since it's a contour site, there are many design considerations need to be taken, and also cutting down of trees can lead to landslides as well. So some considerations has to be taken while designing. My special topic is nature and space relationship, and there are five elements of Ayurveda: ether, air, fire, water, and earth. And from this, I have derived five elements to be considered while my design. So the five parameters are air, light, terrain, vegetation, and water. Each parameters I have selected different case studies, and from that I have derived to certain inferences, and these inferences I'll be using it during my design strategies and design move. As I've mentioned earlier, I'll be using the five parameters in my design. So each move from each parameters have been analyzed, In vegetation, there are thick vegetated areas and there are buffer areas. So this is one of the move from the vegetation parameter. And talking about the terrain, the slope areas where I'll be considering in building in cut and fill or even stills, and also the entries for the site. Next parameter is water. As I've mentioned earlier, there are three valley points and these can be used as elements in the design. Next is air, where the predominant wind is from northeast side, and there are some design considerations which can be taken to have proper ventilation throughout the design. Next is from the site, the circulation and the possible entries which I can provide, and the views and the water drainage area. Zoning is derived from site analysis and special topic analysis, having three blocks: public, semi-public and private. Separating the private, there is a private road and this acts as a buffer between these spaces. And having the entry from here, which leads to a common space and the public space, separating the semi-public space and the other spaces as green and interactive spaces in the site. Coming to the master plan, there's a hospital block, main admin block, which is the common space, college block, research block, residential zone, herbal garden, water tank and electricity, and playground. And as I have already mentioned, these are derived from the site and special topic analysis and splitting the blocks according to the contour to achieve the master plan. The master plan and entry to the site is from here. This is the gateway and this road leads to the common space, which is the admin block and hospital. In admin block there are museum, library and cafe, and to the rear side of the hospital there is a walkway which leads to the gazebo and water body. These are the renders for it. To the rear side of admin block is the college and this is the research block, and in between space as the interaction space for the students, which leads to the herbal garden of the college. Here is the canteen and parking space for the campus. This is a private road which leads to the water tank and electricity, and this is the ground. These two are the renders for it. And another herbal garden which leads to the hostel. This is a hostel block and the center is the common space, and to either side is the boys and girls hostel. This is a road which leads to the guest house and this is a cluster for staff quarters. This is an overall 3D aerial view of the site. This is a gate, hospital, walkway, gazebo, main admin block, college, herbal garden, hostel, ground, water tank, staff quarters and guest house. On to the detailed plans of each block. First, hospital block, which has admin, pharmacy, Panchakarma block, OPD block, ward, radiology, blood bank and operation theatre. Here the zoning is done by having a public space in the center, and on either sides is the inpatient and outpatient departments, and again split into the corresponding contour, respecting them, having courtyards between each block. This is the overall view of the hospital, having an admin space here, and to the left is the Panchakarma block, ward, and to the right is the outpatient department. Here is the radiology and blood bank, and on the top of floor is the operation theatre. And from each outpatient department and Panchakarma there is a doctor and nurse restroom. Here is a plan of the hospital. We enter from here, enter to a reception and waiting area, and to this side is the Panchakarma block, and which leads to the ward. And lower portion of this floor is dedicated to the ladies, and the upper portion is for the men. And here is a pharmacy, and to this side is the outpatient department, and it's the same in the first floor as well. And this is the radiology block and blood bank, and to the top of floor is the operation theatre. And from each block there is a doctor or nurse restroom for Panchakarma as well as outpatient department. Here are the sections. This is section through the main waiting area, and the conference room is on top of it, and here is the ramp which leads to each floor. And this is a section through outpatient department, and these are the treatment rooms, and this is the doctor or the nurse restroom. And this is the section through the ward. Here's the ward, and on either sides there are balcony spaces. This is the overall renders, main reception, waiting area. This is treatment room and waiting area for the outpatient department, having a courtyard in center. And this is the radiology department, blood bank. This is a panchakarma room, ward nursing station, and this is the ward and the balcony for the ward. This is the nursing restrooms, and this is dining space, and this is the walkway behind the hospital. This is the admin block, which is divided into 4 zones and a central courtyard, having reception, office, library, cafe, museum, and digital library. This is the overall view of the admin block, which enters to an office space, and this is a large courtyard space. To the left is the library, and top also is the library. To the right is the museum, as well as on the first floor. And here is the cafe, and on top of it is the digital library. Here's a plan. We enter from here and to our reception, and this is the museum, library, cafe, and on the top floor here's again office, library, museum, and digital. And this is a section. These two are the sections through the admin block. Here are some renders. This is a reception, library, the launch for the library, digital library, cafe space, museum, and the central. Next is the college, where the college is divided into academic and research block, and in the center is the interaction spaces. By splitting the buildings, we can have a proper wind circulation and having natural ventilation in the building. So here is the overall view of the college. Here is the office space, and to the left is the academic block, to the right is the research block. And this block is exam and seminar hall block. This is the classroom with balcony space. This is a lab, and on top of it is the department rooms, and to the rear side of it is the common room, lower floor for the teachers and upper floor for the students. This is the plan, and here's the entry to it, and this is the office, and on the upper floor is office as well. This is the exam hall, and on top of it is the seminar hall, which leads to an open space. It's a gathering space having an amphitheater, and this is the classroom, and there are balconies provided for the classroom, and on top is also the same. Next, leading to the labs, there are 4 labs in the ground floor and 8 department rooms on top of it. This is the common room for the teachers, and on the top floor is for the students. This is a research block. There are 4 labs in the ground floor, and there is an office space, and there is a roof garden, roof herbal garden as well on that floor. And to the lower of this block are some labs in office, and lower to this floor is the common room for the researchers. These are one of the section through the amphitheater and interaction space. This is the interaction space, this is amphitheater, and this is the admin block of the college. Next is the section through the academic block. These are 4 classrooms, and on either sides are the balconies. On this floor there are labs, and on top of it there are departments with a balcony to it. And this is the common room block, lower for the teachers and upper for the students. This is a reception lobby, amphitheater, and the interaction spaces. This is a classroom and the balcony for the classroom, department room, common room for teachers, and this is dining space for them, and students common room and rooftop herbal garden for the research. Next is the hostel. Hostel is divided again into 3, a central space as a common space, and having girls and boys hostel on either sides. There's this common space is for common for both of them, and there are recreation spaces and mess hall and kitchen space in this center zone, and there is a center corridor which leads to the toilet and washrooms for the hostel rooms. This is the plan. Entering to a lobby space having a reception area. This is the center common space, and to the left and right are the hostel rooms for the girls and boys. This again, to the lower floor of it is the interaction spaces in the center and having a rooftop badminton court, and on either sides again is the rooms. To the lower floor of it, in the center part is the mess hall, and on either sides are the rooms, and to the lower of it is the kitchen space and small dining space, and again rooms on either side. This is section through the common space, having a main lobbies here, and this is the interaction space, and this is the mess hall, and this is the kitchen space. This is a section through the bridge which connects each block, and this is the room through the rooms section through the rooms. These are some views, and this is the herbal garden which is in front of the hostel. These are some views. This is a reception lobby space, and this is how the room looks like, shared by two people. Next is the canteen. In the ground floor there is a cash counter, seating space, kitchen, and a serving area, and to the upper floor there is again seating space and toilet. These are some views, and this is how the cash counter looks like, and this is the seating. This is the staff quarters, where it is placed in clusters, and each cluster having 2 rooms and shared by 2 staffs, and having a balcony also. These are the sections showing how the building is stands on the site. It's on stilts since it's on a steep slope area. These are some views, and this is how the room looks like, and this is the balcony space. This is the guest house. This is also situated in a steep slope area, so the guest house is kept on levels, and this staircase leads to each rooms on either sides, and also having a balcony space, and the reception is included with a small cafe space. These are 2 sections, and this is the view. This is the main entry of the guest house. It's a reception lobby with a cafe. The staircase also has a corridor, and this is a room and balcony. Next is the herbal garden, which is present in front of the hostel, and students walk through this herbal garden, which leads to the hostel. This is a walkway which is rare to the hospital block. This leads to a place with gazebo and a small water body. Here's a ground and water tank of the campus. Next, talking about the services, this is a map showing the septic tank, power plant, and water tank, and water supply, sewage line, and electric lines. The circulation, the pedestrian and vehicular circulation, showing the parkings as well. This is an open space map showing interaction spaces, open space, courtyard, and herbal garden. This slide shows 4 renders of the entire campus. This is how the entire campus looks like. This is a table showing the application of special topic in master plan, module, and unit level. As I've said in the earlier slides, I've used these 5 parameters to design, and this is how I did it. And to end up my presentation, I would like to show a small walkthrough to my campus. This is the main entry of the college, a gateway, which leads to the hospital and admin block. This is the walkway rear to the side of the hospital, which leads to the gazebo and water body. This is the parking space of the campus. This is a canteen. This is the admin block. And from the admin we go to the college campus, and this is the amphitheater and rest of the courtyard space as interaction space for the students, which leads to the herbal garden of the college. This is the overall view of the herbal garden rear to the college, and this is the view way to the hostel through the herbal garden, and a gazebo space as a gathering space in between the herbal garden. And this is the hostel entry. This is the aerial view of the hostel, and then this is the way to the staff quarters, and again a gazebo. These are the staff quarter cluster. This is the guest house. It's the ground.